These stories are what keep history and memory alive. So first up, what did we change from? What was the old system all about? Well, before 1971, Britain's money system was logical to almost no one. It was known as LSD, not because the L looked vaguely like a pound sign, but from the medieval weight of silver. A pound of silver was indeed a pound in money. That goes all the way back to medieval times. That's why Britain's currency is still called sterling, because it was literally a weight of measure and purity of precious metal. In £1, there were 20 shillings, and each shilling comprised 12 pennies. Hence, there were 240 pennies in the pound. It was known as the Carolingian system because it dated all the way back to the Emperor Charlemagne in the 8th century AD. Yes, it really was that old. It was archaic and arcane and had changed only marginally over the centuries. By the Victorian era, we had a hierarchy of coins that felt natural to people from Britain, but really rather eccentric to anyone else. Ask anyone who grew up at the time, and they'll tell you that the coins themselves were unique and characterful. There was a tiny half-penny coin, also known as a halfpenny bit. Pennies themselves were large, solid discs of copper. There was actually a separate coin for 3 pence, known as a threepenny bit. Also shillings, florins, introduced by Queen Victoria herself, which were worth 2 shillings. That was the first attempt to get away from the system that was based on crowns. A crown was worth 5 shillings, and half a crown, 2 shillings and sixpence, and there was a separate coin for half a crown. Yes, it really was that simple. For merchants and traders, there were also guineas, worth £1 and 1 shilling. And I'll tell you where you can still spend a guinea today in 2025. To master the coinage, school children had to learn to add and divide in 12s and 20s, and there was a certain pride in mastering the mental gymnastics required to subtract half a crown from 10 shillings, add twopence, and then a threepenny bit. So let's look at what the old system actually felt like in daily life.